which princess of Zahard do you want to see next? This is the question Haku asked, and some people already answered, but hey, I'm always late to the party, so let me join as well. I've thought about this a lot, and that's also partially the reason why it took a bit longer, but also the main reason is I came to the conclusion that I wanted to make this a top 5 video instead of just talking about a singular princess, because there are just too many of them, and some of the ones that I've seen in other videos, I don't even know them. Maybe because I haven't read the blog post just yet, but I think my top 5 is going to surprise quite a few of you. So let's get right into it. Place number 5. And I have seen many people talk about her. She is quite popular, but for me it only was enough to put her in place 5. Who I am talking about is Masheni Kun Zahard. And yes, she is quite interesting and I want to see more of her, but probably not as the next princess. We have already seen her not too long ago with the whole thing going on in the nest. Her being there and having Jinsung captured in the Suspendium led us to Leviathan and so many other things. She also has an AA connection, so like Kun Aguero Agnes, and we also are already familiar to her to a degree, so it wouldn't need too big of an introduction and we would already know what could happen in the future with her getting into the story. It would also lead us to another great family, which I think is more and more common, that every other arc will just be the introduction of another great family. The Kun family has been a major part of the story, and looking at current developments with AA in the officials of WEBTOON, I think that going to the Kun family is not that unlikely. Why I'm only putting her in place 5 is because she is a manipulative character and I had enough of those guys. I want to be a bit more in the relaxing territory for the future arcs, because we have been in so many action sequences. I think we need to calm down a bit and take a step back and see maybe a few more light-hearted things in the tower. And Machete is also just way too unpredictable, so I have no interest in seeing her right now. I think she will be a bit later in the game. Number 4, and that's a double placement because I could not separate those two characters, Shilial and Lilia. Yes, I know, quite surprising to have them over Machete, they could also be place 5, but I want to put them in number 4 because I still think to some degree I would rather see them than Machete. Personally, I like them, and also double the princess for the same price. That's like a 2-in-1 deal, it's just perfect. Technically, they are actually still with us because they are also on the way to the arena where the whole thing with Pobido and Tromarai Lopevia is happening. I don't think that they will stay relevant, and that's also the main reason why they are in place 4. They are unlikely because they are just too weak to actually do something in the current scenario. That's the same for some other princesses as well, but they have other abilities that make up for their physical weakness. So Shilia and Lilia, even though I love you two, you are only place 4. And the top 3 are basically characters that I really want to see, but they are still separated by ranks. So let's get into the first one. Repelista. We haven't seen her in a while, but whenever we see her, something major happens. Because she knows so much, she's connected to a lot of the things in the tower, and who is to say that she is not somebody controlling everything in the background? She is a non-combatant princess, which would actually be working in the idea that I talked about, that it would be a bit more relaxing encounter with her as a princess, and maybe she could bring us back to the classic Tower of God of playing a more down-to-earth game and not something crazy or stupid like the hunt for chess pieces, just something more casual. Just Bum playing a video game, for example, or we're getting another VR MMORPG, which basically was like the hidden floor. So Repelista, I would love to see you, but I also have to say, I think if she will appear, it will be in combination with another princess. Who that might be, well, I don't know, it could be a lot of characters, but one of them is also on this list. The second place on my top 5 princesses that I want to see next is actually Kun Maria. Maria has so many connections to AA, but also like to the Kun family, and also she's apparently connected with Masheni and other stuff going on as well. But the problem with her only being place 2, even though I think she is really interesting, she is connected to AA. And I hate AA. I don't think that's a very wild take. He's just not that cool of a character anymore. What's also cool about Maria is that we have known her in the story for a long time already. We have not seen anything of her, but we have heard many stories about her, so we are already feeling familiar to her. And just like Masheni, she would also lead us to another great family, the Kun family. And maybe she could save AA's character to give him some more development or seeing more why he's acting so stupid. I would really like to see how this could turn out with Maria's and AA's connection, but it's still, I don't know, just because it's connected to AA, it can't be place 1 for me. And now let's get to the honorable mentions. I really think those two should have been princesses, or I at least think that they are princesses in my head. And the first one I want to talk about is Elaine, one of my favorite characters in the entire story, even though she got shafted by Siu and we rarely see her, and when she's actually there, I don't think she really does all that much. I feel like she's just not in the focus anymore after the Name Hunt station. She really should have been there for the marriage arc already, in my opinion, and she should also just be a part of the main squad of BAM. She was so powerful that she could at least compete with Endorsey during the Name Hunt station. So if she actually went with them, or after her training with Jinsung joined to be like as together with BAM to learn more things or something, it would just be very, very cool in my opinion. And I'm sad that she isn't there because at least she was an interesting character. And now to the second honorable mention, and we all know her, we loved her in Season 1, Anak. She is an unofficial princess to me, and looking at her powers, she is kinda crazy. She is the descendant of a princess, so an already powerful character. But she also partially inherited the blood of Zahard, if it really works like that. So she should have the potential to grow really, really powerful, which is also part of my theory, not really theory, but my wish that she could join FUG as a Slayer candidate. But really, it doesn't work like that. She actually had the best setup to stay with us after Season 1, but for some reason she just wasn't there anymore and we got all of the other stuff. I really am not the biggest fan of all of that, but well, we cannot change it anymore, so let's see if she can return in the future. In my opinion, one plot point that still needs to resolve, because that character, that cockroach, still hasn't died, she should be the one to kill Ren. Maybe together with Endorsey to get their revenge from Season 1, she would be the one to get the revenge for her mother. And she would also work together with Endorsey, they already got quite close together. And I think it would just be a very good point to tie it all up from Season 1 to their final fight against Ren or something, even though Endorsey will probably be way too powerful for Ren in the end game, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I think she should be there, she's a great princess to look at, and depending on where her mother was from, she could also lead to another great family. I mean, there is this one great family with this symbol here, the weird green symbol. It kind of reminded me of the lizard style that Anak and her mother are, so I don't know, maybe that could actually be connected to them. We don't know where her mother really is from, I think. But also, sadly, just like Shilia and Lilial, and technically also Elaine, she is just too weak to really be relevant. And with that said, I think it is time for me to go to my number 1 of which princess I want to see the most. And yes, you can call me basic, but it is actually Yuri Ha Zahard. I know, we have seen so much of her already, but I think she can lead us to both finally meeting and learning more about Wallhike Song, which is something I would really love to do finally. Also, because of her, there would be a chance to encounter the Half family, and also maybe make Jinsung more relevant again. It could also actually make him do something for once and not just get beaten down by Dumas and other people, because he kind of is not as powerful anymore as we need him to be, or as I thought he would actually be. But because of all of these different connections, Rachel could also be there for an arc where Yuri and the Half family and Wallhike Song could be relevant, because she is connected to the Half family through Yura. And that just leads me to think that Yuri would be a perfect idea for the next princess we meet. And I know this question may be more of the sort of like a princess that we haven't met yet and want to meet in the future, but for me this is my answer. I want to meet Yuri again, I want to see how she compares to Bam now. She is already on Bam's side, so there wouldn't be any stupid conflict, and it's just always fun to see her interact with Bam and the others. When she learns that Bam is as powerful as her, I don't know if that's the case, I think so. It would actually lead to nice connections of her being like, maybe I don't need to leave Bam's side anymore. I would not endanger him because he's stronger than me or he's as powerful as me, so we can stay together. And Yuri, even though I think Bam might end up together with Endorsey at the very end, I think Yuri is a very good second call. And she is just the best princess to meet in the next few arcs. I think no matter what princess we will meet next, it will either directly or indirectly lead to another conflict or at least encounter with a great family. In a way, that's why Repelista would be great, because she feels the least threatening and could be used for a relaxing or even comedic arc with more casual games like I said before. But in the end, I actually decided to place Yuri as the number 1. partially because we have had so many new characters in the recent arcs that maybe meeting somebody we already know would feel good for a change of pace. And it's not like we know everything about Yuri already, there is still a whole lot to learn. That's about it. Thank you Haku for creating this video that started the discussion, and let's all find out together which princess will really appear or maybe reappear next in the story. For now, that is all from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro out. Bye!